6 home exercises to rapidly strengthen your glutes after 50. Did you know that the gluteus maximus is the largest muscle in the human body? Well, it is. And here's an alarming fact. It's extremely rare to find someone over 50 who actually trains this area. Most people simply completely ignore strengthening their glutes. And men, especially, neglect it even more, thinking that training glutes has no importance whatsoever or that it's something purely aesthetic aimed at women. Now just imagine the result of spending your entire life ignoring simply the largest muscle in your body. The consequences of this neglect will appear inevitably, affecting your mobility, independence, and quality of life. That's why today you'll see the 6 best home exercises to strengthen your glutes after 50 without needing a gym or expensive equipment and recover the strength you need. Before we begin, please tell us through the comments your name and the city where you're watching our content from. We'd love to know. If you still think strengthening your glutes is a waste of time, here are the 4 main reasons that will change that thinking. Reason number 1, prevention and relief of knee and lower back pain. After 50, joint pain becomes increasingly common, especially in the knees and lower back region. Weak glutes are one of the main causes of this problem. When the gluteus maximus and medius cannot adequately stabilize the pelvis and control hip movements, the body seeks compensation in smaller muscles and less prepared joints. This compensation overloads the knees, which suffer from excessive compression and accelerated cartilage wear. Simultaneously, the lower back is forced to work beyond its capacity to maintain upright posture, resulting in chronic tension in the paraspinal muscles and pressure on the intervertebral discs. Studies show that strengthening the glutes significantly improves the biomechanical alignment of the entire lower chain, redistributing forces in a more balanced way. For people over 50, this means less dependence on painkillers, greater autonomy in daily activities, and substantially better quality of life. Chronic pain affects not only the physical, but also mood, sleep, and energy. Strengthening the glutes acts as preventive and corrective therapy simultaneously. Reason number 2, fall prevention and maintenance of independence. Falls represent one of the greatest risks for people over 50, being the main cause of hip fractures, which frequently lead to loss of independence and serious complications. Strong glutes, especially the gluteus medius, are fundamental for pelvic stability during gait and in situations of sudden imbalance. When you walk, with each step, your body is supported on just one leg. At that moment, the gluteus medius needs to stabilize the pelvis to prevent it from dropping to the opposite side. If this muscle is weak, you develop an unstable and limping gait, with greater risk of trips and falls. Additionally, well-developed glutes significantly improve proprioception and reaction capacity in situations of imbalance, such as stepping on uneven terrain or slipping on a wet surface. For the audience over 50, this capacity can literally save lives. Maintaining independence to climb stairs, rise from chairs without hand support, get in and out of the car, or simply walk safely are activities that depend directly on glute strength. Investing in this strengthening is investing in autonomy and dignity in maturity. Reason number 3, increased bone density and prevention of osteoporosis. Osteoporosis is a serious concern after 50, especially for postmenopausal women when the reduction of estrogen accelerates bone loss. Exercises involving the glutes, being generally multi-joint and high mechanical load, create potent stimulus for bone strengthening. When you perform squats, deadlifts, or hip thrusts, the pressure and tension applied to the bones of the pelvis, femur, and spine activate cells called osteoblasts, responsible for the formation of new bone tissue. This process is known as adaptive bone remodeling. Bones respond to mechanical stress by becoming denser and more resistant. Studies demonstrate that progressive strength training can increase bone mineral density by 1 to 3% per year, partially reversing age-related bone loss. For people with osteopenia or early osteoporosis, this gain can mean the difference between staying active or suffering fragility fractures. Additionally, strong glutes improve balance and coordination, creating double protection, stronger bones, and lower risk of falls that would cause fractures. Reason number 4, greater epoch effect and hormonal control in maturity. The epoch effect is particularly valuable after 50, when metabolism naturally slows down. Training glutes, especially with compound and intense exercises, significantly elevates oxygen consumption not only during training, but for up to 48 hours after the session. This means your body continues burning extra calories even while you rest, watch TV, or sleep. a crucial benefit when the tendency is to gain fat more easily. Additionally, intense training of large muscle groups like the glutes stimulates natural production of anabolic hormones, which decline with age but are essential for muscle maintenance, bone density, libido, mood, and energy. Although the post-training hormonal increase is temporary, regular stimulus creates a metabolic environment favorable to overall health. For men over 50, this can help partially compensate for the natural decline of testosterone. For postmenopausal women, GH and IGF-1 become even more important for maintaining body composition. The combined effect of elevated EPOC and hormonal optimization makes glute training a smart metabolic strategy for this age group, promoting better body composition, more energy, and vitality in daily life. Now that you understand why, strengthening the glutes is essential, let's go to the 6 exercises that will transform your strength and mobility. Exercise number 6. Step Up. The Step Up is an extraordinary functional exercise that simulates movements you perform daily, such as climbing stairs or steps. What makes this exercise particularly valuable is its ability to work each leg independently, correcting muscular imbalances that frequently go unnoticed in bilateral exercises. For people over 50, this is fundamental because muscular asymmetry drastically increases the risk of falls and injuries. The Step Up intensely recruits the gluteus maximus, quadriceps, and hip stabilizers while challenging your balance and proprioception. Additionally, it strengthens the posterior chain in an integrated way, improving the capacity to transfer force from the ground to the body during gait. To execute it correctly, position yourself facing a firm bench or step approximately 16 to 20 inches high. You can start lower if necessary. Place one foot completely on the step, keeping the weight on the heel of that foot. Consciously activate the glute of the leg that is supported and press the heel against the step to propel the entire body upward until the leg is completely extended. The foot that was on the ground should only lightly touch the step at the top of the movement without transferring weight or pushing. Descend in a controlled manner, maintaining tension in the glute of the leg that remains supported. The main errors to avoid are pushing with the back leg to help with the ascent, excessively leaning the trunk forward, letting the knee fall inward during the movement, and descending in an uncontrolled and fast manner. Perform 3 to 4 sets of 8 to 12 repetitions for each leg, resting 60 seconds between sets. As for contraindications, people with severe balance problems should perform the movement near a wall or support initially. If you have advanced arthritis in the knee, start with lower steps and progress gradually as the joint adapts. Exercise number 5, Clamshell. The clamshell is an exceptional isolation exercise for the gluteus medius, an absolutely crucial muscle for pelvic stabilization and fall prevention that is frequently neglected in conventional training. The gluteus medius acts as the main lateral stabilizer of the hip, and its weakness is directly linked to lower back pain, knee problems, and unstable gait. For the audience over 50, strengthening this specific region can mean the difference between walking with confidence or feeling insecure with each step. The clamshell also activates the external rotators of the hip, improving joint mobility and reducing harmful compensations. To execute it correctly, lie on your side with your legs bent at approximately 90 degrees and feet aligned with the hip. Keep the heels together throughout the entire movement. Contract the core to stabilize the spine and prevent the hip from rolling backward. Keeping the heels united, elevate the upper knee as much as possible without the hip rotating or the pelvis moving. You should feel an intense contraction on the side of the glute. Pause at the top for 2 seconds, focusing on maximum contraction, then descend in a controlled manner. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Having constant access to science-based information is what will make you progress with health in the long term in the world of bodybuilding. The main errors to avoid are allowing the hip to roll backward during elevation, separating the heels, using momentum instead of muscular control, and performing incomplete range of motion due to laziness or premature fatigue. Perform 3 sets of 15 to 20 repetitions for each side, with 45 seconds of rest between sets. This is a high repetition exercise because the gluteus medius responds better to volume than to heavy load. There are no significant contraindications for this exercise, making it extremely safe even for people with severe joint limitations. Exercise number 4, side lying leg lift. The side-lying leg lift is another exercise focused on the gluteus medius and hip abductors, perfectly complementing the clamshell but with slightly different activation due to the resistance vector. This movement works the musculature in a greater amplitude and more elongated position, promoting more complete muscular development. For people over 50, this exercise offers extraordinary benefits for stability when walking, climbing stairs laterally, and performing daily movements that involve lateral displacement of the body. To execute it correctly, lie completely on your side, keeping the body in a straight line. You can support the head on the extended or bent arm, whichever is more comfortable. The bottom leg can be slightly flexed for greater stability, while the top leg remains completely extended. Contract the core firmly, keeping the upper leg straight and the foot in neutral position. Elevate it laterally to approximately 45 degrees, or as far as you can without the hip starting to roll backward. The movement should be pure and come exclusively from the hip. Pause briefly at the top, feeling the burn on the side of the glute, then descend in a controlled manner without letting the foot completely touch the bottom leg between repetitions, maintaining constant tension. The main errors to avoid are rotating the hip backward to be able to elevate the leg more, flexing the knee during the movement, using swing instead of muscular control, and allowing the leg to descend completely between repetitions, losing tension. Perform 3 sets of 15 to 20 repetitions for each side, resting 45 seconds between sets. When the exercise becomes too easy, you can add an elastic band around the thighs to increase resistance. There are no significant contraindications, being safe even for people with lower back problems, as long as they keep the core contracted. Exercise number 3, glute bridge. The glute bridge is possibly the most effective exercise for isolated activation of the gluteus maximus, surpassing even the squat in terms of specific recruitment of this musculature. This movement places the glutes in their position of greatest mechanical advantage, allowing maximum contraction even without equipment. For the audience over 50, the bridge offers the additional advantage of being a closed-chain exercise with minimum joint stress on the knees, making it ideal for those who have limitations in this region. Additionally, it intensely strengthens the spinal erectors and hamstrings, creating complete stability in the posterior chain. To execute it correctly, lie on your back, with knees bent and feet supported on the ground, separated at hip width. The feet should be close enough to the hip so that, at the top of the movement, your shins are perpendicular to the ground, arms relaxed. At the side of the body, contract the core and press the heels against the ground while elevating the hip, intensely contracting the glutes until forming a straight line from shoulders to knees. At the top, squeeze the glutes with maximum force for 2 to 3 seconds. This is absolutely crucial for maximum activation. Descend in a controlled manner, but don't completely relax the glutes on the ground. Maintain constant tension. The main errors to avoid are elevating the hip too much, excessively arching the lower back, pushing mainly with the feet instead of contracting the glutes, not maintaining the contraction at the top of the movement, and allowing the knees to fall inward or open excessively. Perform 3 to 4 sets of 12 to 15 repetitions, maintaining maximum contraction at the top of each repetition. Rest 60 seconds between sets. For progression, you can hold the contraction at the top for longer or perform the movement with one leg only, supporting the other, foot on the knee of the leg that is working. Exercise number 2, donkey kick. The donkey kick is a dynamic exercise that works the gluteus maximus through hip extension against gravity, offering unique stimulus compared to previous exercises. The position on all fours eliminates the need for standing balance, making the movement more accessible and allowing total focus on glute contraction. This exercise is particularly valuable for developing the mind-muscle connection with the glutes, something that many people over 50 have lost over years of sedentary lifestyle or inadequate training. To execute it correctly, position yourself on all fours with hands directly below the shoulders and knees below the hip. Keep the spine neutral, avoiding both arching and excessively rounding. Contract the core firmly, keeping the knee bent at 90 degrees, elevate one leg back and upward, pushing the heel toward the ceiling. The movement comes from hip extension, not the lower back. Continue, rising until you feel maximum contraction in the glute, generally when the thigh is parallel to the ground or slightly above. Squeeze the glute intensely at the top for 1 second, then descend in a controlled manner without the knee completely touching the ground between repetitions. The main errors to avoid are excessively arching the lower back to elevate the leg more, using momentum and swing instead of muscular control, not keeping the knee bent throughout the entire movement, and allowing the hip to rotate, misaligning the pelvis. Perform 3 sets of 12 to 15 repetitions for each leg, resting 60 seconds between sets. A valuable tip is to imagine that you're pushing the ceiling with the sole of your foot. This helps maintain focus on glute contraction instead of simply elevating the leg. Exercise number 1, Sumo squat. The Sumo squat is a variation of the traditional squat that, due to the more open positioning of the feet, transfers significantly more emphasis to the glutes and adductors, while simultaneously reducing the load on the knees and the need for ankle mobility. For people over 50, these characteristics make the Sumo frequently superior to the conventional squat, especially for those who have mobility limitations or history of knee pain. The movement also develops crucial functional strength for rising from chairs, getting out of vehicles, and squatting to pick up objects from the ground safely. To execute it correctly, position the feet considerably wider than shoulder width, with toes pointing outward at approximately 45 degrees. Keep the chest elevated and shoulders back. Contract the core firmly. Begin the movement pushing the hip backward while bending the knees, which should follow the same direction as the toes. Descend until your thighs are parallel to the ground, or as far as your mobility allows, without the lower back starting to round. At the bottom of the movement, your knees should be aligned with the toes, not fallen inward. Press the heels against the ground and, intensely contracting the glutes, extend the hips and knees to return to the starting position. The main errors to avoid are allowing the knees to fall inward during the movement, rounding the lower back when descending, excessively leaning the trunk forward, not descending to adequate depth due to fear or discomfort, and rising only with the legs, forgetting to actively contract the glutes. Perform 3 to 4 sets of 10 to 12 repetitions, resting 90 seconds between sets. The Sumo squat is more demanding than previous exercises, so the longer rest is justified. For progression, you can hold a weight in front of the chest, such as a water bottle or backpack, gradually increasing the load as you gain strength. If you enjoyed this and want to also discover another exercise widely practiced in Asian communities to heal years of neglect with your own body, we left a video appearing right now on the screen showing better each one of them. Don't miss it. Thank you for watching until here, and may God bless you, my friend.